Hi everyone, I'm Sam from Electric Bikes Brisbane, and I'm very pleased to be able to walk you through the brand new Riese Muller Culture. This is a new bike from Riese Muller. It signals a new direction for them as well because it features the Bosch SX motor, so the new lightweight motor, and as a result we have a much lighter bike as well. So this is our test model, and I'm going to step you through the features of it, but also just talk about what makes this so unique and also the different options that you have. Because if you're aware of the Riese Muller platform, you've got loads and loads of different options where you can customise the bike to the way that you really want it to look and feel. So firstly, what makes this bike special? So you just have to look at the frame to know that there's something a little bit special about this. When Riese Muller set out to design this, and it took them 2 years to actually design it, they wanted a bike that was very sustainable. So what you see here is an e-bike, which is made out of almost half of this is recycled aluminium. And Riese Muller's overall philosophy is about reducing their carbon footprint and pretty much having a zero emissions production process. So wherever possible, they source from as close as they can. So this bike it features a lot of European-made components. The frame itself is made in Portugal, and the beautiful quality and craftsmanship that goes into the way this bike rides is put together, and therefore how it's going to live with you as a long-term investment. It's just an absolute masterstroke. Okay, so firstly, who's this bike for? So obviously you've got to like the styling of it. This is a very distinctive frame. It's very minimalist in design, sleek. You've got this beautiful drop in the crossbar here in the front, so it sits you up nice and tall as well, but not so tall that it's not sporty to ride and gives you sort of that agility that you might be looking for, particularly because you've got a lighter weight platform. It's a very urban-oriented bike, so it's probably not going to be a bike that you're going to go out and, do the really rough ends of the rail trail, but you can actually do a little bit because of the way it's configured. But really, this is a great bike to get you around town. You've got the options of carrying on the back. You can carry up to 27 kilos with the optional rack that you can put on. It's going to be your bike that you'll get to work. You'll nip down to the shops. You'll just go for a beautiful ride on it. It's kind of that do everything, get you around the city, ditch the car style of bike. But this really appeals to someone who's looking for something just a little bit edgy as well. So I'm going to step you through the key components of this bike, and then we're going to talk about the various options that you've got, because it's not just this bike. We've got different frame styles, different colours, different sizes, different configurations. And as I said earlier, the ability to be able to really custom make the bike that just really suits what you want to use it for. Okay, so let's start with the wheel set. So the Culture rolls on a 28-inch wheel set. So it's traditionally it's a classic sort of urban wheel set. Fast rolling, got those big wheels which will roll over potholes, nice and smooth. Lots of speed as well. Kind of important in this case because this is a much lighter bike, and with that motor you have much less resistance as well. So you probably want to be rolling quite fast in some cases. So it's nice to have the tyres that let you do that. So Riese Muller use the Mach 1 rims. They're good, strong rims. They actually build their own wheels in their factory in Germany. Wheels are such an important part of how a bike handles and also how it lasts. So got a very, very strong spoke pattern, strong rims, and they've encased it in Big Bend tyres. So fatter than normal urban tyres. A lot of us are used to sort of, the skinnier tyres for riding around the city. These are comfortable, bit more air in them, but also a lot more traction too. So cornering in the wet, pulling up in the wet, you're going to just have a little bit more grip for that as well. So this particular bike's been configured with the suspension kit option. So what that does is it puts forks on the front, just soaks up the lumps and bumps if you're riding around more gravel or rougher roads. It comes as standard with a fixed fork, and it's a kinesis fork. That will actually make the bike a little bit lighter. In this current configuration, this bike is around 21.9 kilos. Without the fork and the pure standard configuration, it's around 21 kilos, just a shade over, I believe. Still very light. So with this big 28-inch rim, you've got two options. If you can configure it as standard, and it's the lightest version, so that's the fixed fork and they're kinesis forks, hailing back to that sustainability principle, these are made in the UK. Or you can go for the suspension kit option, which is what this one is. And with this, you have 63mm travel and Suntour NCX forks. Totally up to you what you prefer to do. Forks tend to give you a little bit more comfort at the front. It's expecting you to do a bit more rough surfaces, potholes, gravel. Some of our roads at the moment are in a terrible state after all the rain. But again, you've got the choice. So while we're on the front wheel, let's have a look at the brakes as well. Riese Muller have always used Magura brakes. They're a German-made brake. In this case, they've gone for the brand new Magura MT A2s. Now, this is a good all-rounder brake, and they've built it especially for e-bikes as well, so you've got good braking performance. What's actually really good about it, though, is it's low maintenance. So for a hydraulic disc brake, it's super easy to service these brakes, and if you have any repairs that are required, so say you dropped it and you've broken a brake lever or something like that, it's just a shift and replace, as opposed to all the fiddly components that come with current braking systems. So again, they're thinking about this bike as a easy to live with, long-term investment when you purchase it. Nice thing about those brakes is it's just got a really nice brake feel. They're not too grabby. They're nice and smooth, but they really are quite strong. Great for riding in the wet. So if we move up into the cockpit, and just because we've been talking about the brakes, you can see this new brake component. It's a one-piece component. It really is quite different, but it's nicely placed as well. So like all brakes, you can adjust the levers, but this is quite nicely placed and very, very easy to use. So now we're up in the cockpit. Let's talk about the gearing as well. Because we're moving into a 2024 and future season, Riese Muller have gone with the brand new Shimano Qs. Qs is a new gearing system that Shimano are bringing out to replace the multiple tiers that they've had previously. And in this case, Riese Muller have used the A600, which is the mid-tier of the three tiers that Shimano are bringing out. This is a 10-speed gearing system. It's quick shifting. It's got a great range of gears, like a good low gear, enough of a high gear if you want to push a little bit, faster speed, given that the bike is lighter and you're able to do that. But also easy to maintain and, most importantly, easy to service if you need to replace parts as well. We've got a nice little integrated bell here, and this cockpit is very, very clean. This is the smart system, of course. And for our demo test bike, this just has the LED. But there is the option of using the Purion 200 display if you want to, which is a lovely little neat display. It looks exactly the same, but just gives you a little bit more information. That's an option if you want to configure it with that display. Another nice feature is we've got the ability to mount the phone in the stem here, and there's a case that you would buy as a secondary accessory to be able to do that, and your phone would just sit here if you wanted to have your phone front and centre. Now, if you look at the geometry of this cockpit and the handlebars that they've used, you take this bike out for a ride. It's a very comfortable ride position. It's a slightly swept back handlebar, raises you up a little bit as well, so you haven't got that really flat, aggressive, sporty ride position. It's much more of a comfortable ride position, but it's not super upright. This is not an adjustable stem. This is the fixed position, but it's actually a really lovely ride position. It gives you the best of both worlds if you are a bit of a sportier sort of a rider, but you actually want that longer term comfort as well. So you can see this also has integrated lighting as well, lights front and rear, and that just works off your controller here, very similar to most of the Riese Mullers. Nice comfortable grips as well, as you'd expect. And just while we're talking about sort of the ride position and the comfort, you can see as part of the suspension kit, which you get with your front forks, you've got the suspension seat post as well. So again, taking out lumps and bumps while you're riding. Okay, so let's talk about one of the other factors that makes this bike really, really special. And it's also because we're kind of excited to see it here finally as well, and it's the Bosch SX motor. So this is Bosch's answer to the trend towards lightweight. And it's won all sorts of awards as well, because it's a cracking motor. I've actually taken the bike out for a ride, and it's quite impressive. So it's a lightweight motor, much lighter, much more compact. It allows sort of more natural riding, so the ability to backpedal hasn't got anywhere near as much resistance when you do get over the speed cutout. So really, bikes that are equipped with this motor are really looking for that more natural ride feeling. The motor itself is a 55 Newton meter motor, so on paper that looks like it's a weaker motor. It's not. It's still got a 600 watt peak power output, which is exactly the same as the Bosch Cargo and the Bosch CX, and a 300% power assistance, so on top of your own power. It's really quite impressive how this bike with this motor handles going up hills. I was expecting it to struggle a little bit on some of the steeper hills, which we're used to getting up on something like a Bosch CX. No trouble at all. So this is beautifully integrated. It's very, very discreet. What else? Riese Muller have paired it with it's a 400 watt hour power tube battery that it comes with, and this is built into the frame. You can see how beautifully they have designed this as well, and just, the quality of the frame welds. Another excellent feature that you can configure this bike with is the Power More range extender. So you can put a range extender with another 250 watt hours of capacity on there. Now, if you jump onto the Bosch range calculator, just with the 400 watt hour battery, it indicates that you will probably get about 100k range riding in eco, to about 60k range if you're riding in turbo. So it's a decent range still on the 400 watt hour battery. So if you are planning to be doing really much longer distances, or you're a little bit worried about whether or not you might become a bit of a turbo junkie, like some of us, the range extenders are a great idea if you want to sort of just extend that riding capability. The battery just charges here, and if you're using the Power More, that's where that plugs into as well. So just to finish the bike off and looking at the rear of the bike, you can see it comes standard with a kickstand. It comes standard with these mudguards. Your rear tail light is integrated into that rear mudguard, and you've also got a reflector under the seat as well. So thinking about things from a visibility perspective. You have the option with Riese Muller as well to mount a rear carrier on this, and it's a MIC HD, so it carries up to 27 kilos, that's actually a really great rating, because it also allows you to carry a child seat plus a host of other accessories if you want to use this as a bit of a cargo carrier or a shopping bike. So overall, beautiful bike. We are very excited to finally receive it. As I mentioned, there are a heap of configurations that you can opt for with this bike. This is a crossbar version. There's also a mixed version, and that allows just a little bit more clearance in the top tube if that's what you prefer. Both bikes are available in 3 different frame sizes. This particular one is a 56. I'm 173 centimetres, and I would opt for this frame size. So it's great because it means you've got options for taller riders with the 62 frame size, but also another option for shorter riders as well. The Culture version, so the crossbar version, is available in 2 colours. This one's what they call the biscuit, and there's also a denim. So if you opt for the mixie, you've got 2 colour choices as well. One is called Blossom, which is almost like a rose purpley colour, and you've got the denim as well. From an overall configuration perspective, so there's some of your basic choices, really key in terms of sizing, frame style, geometry. So some great choices there depending on how you wish to use your bike, how light you want it, how much comfort you want, how much range you want, and obviously sizes and colours as well. So we're super excited to finally have this bike here. It has really created a lot of attention since Riese Muller released it and showed it at Eurobike. So it's so great to be able to see it in Australia finally, and the Mixty as well. If you are interested in test riding one or coming down and having a look at it, please don't hesitate to come down. You can book a test ride through our website or give us a call, or just pop into our showroom at Douglas Street in Milton, and we'd be very happy to help you.